Once again, Minister of Forced Labor Lisa Raitt has done a spectacular dance with that fleet-footed CEO, Calin Rovinescu.
Tango.
You bet.
With collective bargaining at Air Canada completely warped by the Harper gang, it's been impossible for any union to get a deal that will make up for years of insult and injury. The Pilots Association negotiated first. They brought back a deal that got them cash by selling out future generations of pilots. That committee was promptly cashiered by its membership. Next, the ticket agents represented by CAW struck briefly but returned to work under the threat of back-to-work legislation. Then, QB flight attendants turned down 2 collective agreements, but had the second one rammed down their throats by a labor board chair. Now, the Machinists Union, representing aircraft mechanics and ramp personnel, turned down a shitty deal which creatively cut widows off from pension benefits after 10 years. So the Machinists, poised to strike on March break Monday, instead get their turn on the floor with Raitt. But wait! Calin cut in by threatening to lock out his pilots at the same day and hour. This way, Lisa's legislation on Tuesday didn't just deny Air Canada machinists the right to strike, it also denied Rovinescu the right to lock out his pilots. What a two-step! Air Canada is the poster child of privatization in Canada. Back when it was a crown corporation, the CEO took home about 7 times the average employee's paycheck, and that was plenty. The pension plan was fully funded because, well, executives didn't get quarterly boni for taking contribution holidays during stock bubbles. Back then, Canadians were all stakeholders in a venerable flag carrier. Now, like the employees, they're just fleeced shareholders in successive shitty stock issues. Calin Rovinescu currently pulls down 100 times average employee's paycheck, and that's before the 70% raise he just gave himself. But likely, before the ink is even dry on his bonus check, the company will be in bankruptcy proceedings anew. And Calin will then spool up the new air austerity where new employees will work for half the pay and no pension. But that's okay. When Caterpillar shuttered the profitable electromotive plant in London and put 500 workers on the street, Lisa Raitt and her con cronies were silent as church mice. I guess shutting down the only diesel locomotive manufacturer in the country wouldn't damage the Canadian economy. But when workers push to recover lost wages and pensions, well, next year's bonus could be imperiled. But if Lisa actually wanted to legislate Air Canada's continued operation as an essential part of the Canadian economy, it's easy. Just nationalize it. And what can Canadian workers do to break up the unholy two-step of capital and cons? Well, they can always join the global general strike next May Day, May Day, May Day. In Toronto, I'm Umberto da Silva, and not Rex Murphy.